I'm like, I don't fucking know. He just eats. I really don't know how many ounces he eats. Hey guys, thank you for watching It's Sound. Today I'm actually recording kind of a controversial topic. Just anything that has to do with motherhood is controversial. Like, you can never be the perfect mom. Like, there's always something wrong that you do. It's about breastfeeding, and I'm just gonna be telling you guys kind of like the truth, how it is, like what to expect. If you did breastfeed, like, you'll probably relate to this. If you didn't, you'll probably be like, yeah, like, I kind of agree. You'll see what I'm talking about, but I guess I'll start off with some pros and cons, and then I'll do kind of some experiences that I was in, so you guys just see what I'm talking about, or the basis. Okay, so one of the cons with breastfeeding is it's not for everyone, and I mean this in like the nicest way possible. It just really isn't. There's just some babies who don't latch. There's some babies that as soon as you give them formula, they like don't want breast milk anymore because it fills them up. And that comes another con. When you're actually breastfeeding, you have no idea how much you're feeding your kid. People ask you, oh, how much does your baby eat? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. He just eats. I really don't know how many ounces he eats. I would never be able to tell you because I can't measure it unless I'm pumping. But even pumping doesn't take out as much as them actually eating off of you. So that's another thing. Another thing is with that too, they could be dehydrated. If you're not feeding them enough, they can be dehydrated. And there's like signs that can tell you if they're dehydrated or not. Like if their soft spot is kind of low, they're dehydrated. If they're not having as heavy diapers, wet diapers, if they cry and no tears come out, like those are signs of dehydration. That means that they're not getting enough milk. Also, if they're not gaining the appropriate amount of weight, so they're supposed to be gaining at least 2 pounds a month or something like that. And if they're not gaining that, they're not getting enough food. So that's kind of the cons of breastfeeding. Like, you just never know. And that's another thing too. It's timing. Like when they're first born, you have to time it. You have to time how many times he eats off of one, and how long he ate off of the other one, and how long did he wait until he got hungry again. And that can be very time consuming and very stressful for a mom. Because babies will last 30 to 40 minutes on each side. Guys, just think about that. That's like an hour and a half long. And that's how it starts when they're first born. When they're newborns, they're all new to this. Like, they were in your belly, like they didn't have to breathe in there, they didn't have to eat, everything was done for them. And then I don't know where they come into this world and they're like forced to like breathe this air that they never breathed before. And now they have to eat through their mouth. Like, it's just, they're just not used to it, but it is like a natural instinct, so that's why they're able to do it, but it just takes them a really long time. As they get older, the time decreases. So right now, Mateo still breastfeeds, and he's only taking like maybe 10 minutes to eat, which is like great. Another con is, again, I guess it would have to do with timing. Babies, when they're first born, they eat every 2 to 3 hours, meaning if I fed him, we had to leave right after to go either to grocery shopping or going out to one of our family members or our friends, because we could only be there for 2 hours, and then I have to come home and feed him again because, I don't know, it's so frowned upon to breastfeed your child in public nowadays. So it's kind of hard to do it in public. So you have to kind of have to time, and it becomes very stressful, I'm not gonna lie. That also ties in with, it can really take a toll on a woman who's breastfeeding. Especially, guys, if you don't have a partner who's supportive, a partner who's there to help, a partner who's creative and finding ways that he can help as much. Because honestly, guys are useless when it comes to feeding them. If you're breastfeeding, they have useless nipples. I don't even know why they have nipples. They're so goddamn useless. You don't have to worry as much as you do, like on what foods you have to eat, just things like that. But you just need a supportive husband, someone who's gonna be like, hey, just pump, and then I'll feed him for the next feeding, you just go sleep. That's the kind of man that you need. That's like a whole other video, what kind of partner you should look for, because you should really be careful on who you're having kids with. Any girl will tell you that. Any girl who has been through anything with baby mamas, baby daddies, families in general, they'll tell you, you have to be careful who you have kids with. Now another con that I can think of is, it hurts. It hurts so much. It's like a little shark. It's just like and it hurts so bad. And then like after a month it stops hurting, like you kind of become immune to it, or like it just becomes numb, like you don't feel anything. And then they grow teeth and it hurts again. This ties in with one of the cons. When you're breastfeeding, apparently you have to give your baby vitamin D drops because your breast milk doesn't have vitamin D. Like no one told me that, so I had no idea until I went to his pediatrician and she's like, oh, you're supposed to be giving him vitamin D drops. And I was like, why did nobody fucking tell me? That's one of the cons. I think that's about it. I guess the biggest one is just how big of a toll it can take on a mom, especially on a working mom. I feel like if there's a mom who's really determined to breastfeed, but she's a working mom, it takes a toll especially on her, because they probably feel so like guilty that they can't do it. That's like another video too, like mom guilt. It's just, you guys would have to breastfeed and see what I'm talking about and what I'm trying to say by taking a toll on you. And just after birth you have so many emotions and this just adds to it. We'll talk about nighttime. One of the cons is nighttime. So when you're breastfeeding, you actually have to be awake while you feed your child. I don't know how it works with formula. I don't know if you just kind of give them the formula, let them lay on their crib. But with breastfeeding, you have to, they recommend you to sit up so you don't fall asleep, because there's many hazards. There's many hazards and many stories of women who fall asleep and the baby falls, or the mom falls asleep and they roll over the baby. Like, you have to be up, and that's another reason why it'll take kind of like a toll on a woman. Just kind of like, and they do it every 2 hours. Do you know how it's just draining? Now we're gonna move on to the pros, because that's like my favorite part, because this is the reason why I did it and why I chose this route for my baby. The biggest one is it's healthier. There's hands down the healthiest option. I had to give him like vitamin D drops, which was kind of like, I thought breast milk like required all of that, but I guess it didn't. But formula has it, which is like a pro for formula. Like formula has everything already in it. But breastfeeding is healthier. It's more natural, and your body produces it for your baby. Literally, it's meant for your child. And by that I mean, when your child gets sick, your own breast milk will like transform itself to help your baby's needs. It will give it antibodies, it will give it warmth. Like, it's so crazy. There's like pictures, just Google it. Like, there's pictures of women who put their milk like just on a regular basis, and then their milk when their baby's sick, and you can see the difference. Like, there's people who look under a microscope and you can see like the antibodies in the breast milk when the baby's sick, and it has something to do with the saliva touching the nipple and not sending signals to your body. Like, your breast milk is made for your child. Like, it's specifically made for them, which is like amazing. And it's so crazy that our bodies do that. Like, I don't know, I respect any woman out there any woman out there, because we have this ability that nobody else has. Like, it's just us. Like, honestly, it's just women. Men can't do that. And it's really great. Another thing is, if you're sick, like the mama's sick, like me, I was sick. I got sick like 6 times this year. I lost my voice. And guys, I kid you not, Mateo stayed healthy throughout all of it. And it's because my breast milk changed to give him my antibodies so he wouldn't get sick. They can only handle so much medication, so I think breast milk is the best solution. Another pro that comes along with breastfeeding is the bond. And I know everybody says this, the bond between you and your child when you're breastfeeding is so huge. You can just feel it. You can feel the connection when you look down and you see their little face. And of course, if you're formula feeding, you see this too, right? Like, when they look up at you with your eyes, like, it's the same feeling. But I feel like, I don't know, I mean, I just talk from experience. It just feels so strong, and I feel like getting stronger as he gets older, because I mean, I'm just assuming when babies start formula feeding, like, they just go off with their bottle. You don't really hold them anymore, but I still have to hold Mateo. And like, now that he's older, like, he'll play with my nose and my mouth, and he'll start laughing, and then like he'll grab his little toes, and it's just, and every time that I look down, I'm just like, he's growing. And I'm so glad that I'm getting to do this, because it's only for a year that I'm struggling. It's only for a year. Honestly, enjoy your time with your babies because the year goes by fast, and like that's it, you know. And it's just enjoy the first year. At least that's I'm making the most out of his first year because I want him to grow up healthy and strong. And that's another thing with breast milk, it's strong and it makes him healthy. Mateo's a little lazy, but he's strong and he's smart. This kid's really smart, it's just he's kind of lazy. One of the biggest pros, it's free. It's completely free. It's yours. No one has any control over what's yours. Like, it's your son's and yours. Like, it's free. Like, okay, a can of formula costs $17. After tax, that's like $20 to $22. A baby drinks 3 to 4 cans a week. Like, there's times where I'm like, damn, I want to stop breastfeeding, but then I look at those prices and I'm like, never mind. I'll stay. I'll continue to breastfeed until he turns 12 months. Like, it's not that hard. I've done it for the past 9. But it's completely free. You will use it sometimes, maybe to like make him cereal and stuff, but you can make cereal like with your own breast milk, which is like great. Like, you're making cereal and stuff. It's so crazy. Like, I love it. Like, I'm amazed by what my body can do, and I don't regret it any day. I will never regret breastfeeding him. I will never regret the pain. I will never regret everything I had to go through, meaning having to leave stores, having to leave people's houses. I will never regret it because my baby is so healthy, and they tell me every time I go that he's healthy, and that's the greatest thing a mom can hear. God wouldn't send you this if he thought you wouldn't be able to do it. And so that's kind of a way. But a pro on that is it's so much easier. You don't have to get up and get a bottle and formula and water. When you travel, I'll travel with that stuff, but I don't need to be taking it out like when I'm like at the mall and stuff. Honestly, there's some malls that have like a breastfeeding little room, and I love that. Like, if I go to Arrowhead Mall, I like go straight in there. If Mateo needs to feed, I finish and then I go back out. I don't have to worry about the bottle. I don't have to worry about the milk or the, you know, it's just, I think it's so much easier. Or if you're at home, because I'm pretty much home 24/7, I can just pop them right on and like, we're good. But yeah, guys, that's kind of what has to do with breastfeeding. I guess it just kind of depends on what kind of person you are. I know if you're not even pregnant and you watch this whole video, thank you so much. I talk way too much. But if you are pregnant and you're having a baby, just keep in mind, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. You shouldn't feel like shit because you don't breastfeed your kid. Formula has all the nutrients it needs, so there's no problem with you giving them formula. If that's the route you have to go through, do it. I'd rather you feed your kid than starve them because you wanted to breastfeed them. Like, it's just, do what's best for your child and what's healthier and what makes them healthy and grow and make their bones strong. Just do what's best for your child. Never feel guilty. Everything happens for a reason, and I wish you guys all luck, and thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. Enjoy. And yeah, guys, thank you so much.